And like I said, all of us in this country called Nigeria, we are products of the politicians that came from our spaces in the 1950s, that rose in the 1940s and 50s. We are products of politicians that rose in our spaces in the 1940s and 50s. And I am proud. If there's anything more than being proud, I am proud to have been greatly influenced by Awolowo, who says we lack sense of unity. Why are people dull in this continent called Africa? Why do you guys always ask for unity? Why do you ask for what you cannot get? What you cannot even create in your space? So I'll read you something again. You guys have asked the most stupid questions. It says here, in fact, the Igbo speaking peoples were self-consciously divided into Olu and the Igbo people. Even today, the Olu are very reluctant, except sometimes in urban centers, to refer to themselves as Igbo. You have not been able to create this unity in your own ethnic group. You are asking me for unity. What are you doing? The point I'm trying to say is this: when a group of people in the world, in this entire globe, there's only one continent where they talk about unity, and it's the only continent where they don't grow. Africans, let's think. This black skin is not a curse. More they use our brain now. We are the only continent where they're always talking about unity, 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 unity. And it's the one that's the lowest on the global scale of just about every. Like, we've got to do better than be shouting unity, unity. Grow, develop, do something. And you cannot grow without structure. Order creates increase. You cannot grow without structure. The kind of structure that will help you grow is what we are talking about. And that structure has to recognize delineation and recognize unique identities. We are not the same. I've said it several times. This kind of stupid nonsense unity that we're talking about in Africa, you don't hear it in Europe. I am a Ghanaian. My sense of unity is blacks. It's our core problem. That's not your problem. And by the way, you know what's painful about Pan-Africanism? The ideology is not even your own. And I like it. As long as we're talking about travel and commerce and trade, I'm good. I like Pan-Africanism. Once you go beyond that to be discussing Marcus Garvey as an African, something is wrong somewhere. Marcus Garvey was a descendant of slaves. With all due respect, he was raised outside Africa. He longed for home. He had an idea of what Africa should be. He never got to Africa. You were born in Africa and you are carrying it on your head. Pan-Africanism, what does it mean? Where's Pan-Asian? Where's Pan-European? I said it the other day. EU, not even Pan-African, Pan-European Union. That's not what they are doing. No. EU based on trade, based on sense, based on movement, not based on we are one. Why are they smarter than us, right? Are they smarter? Or did they just create this confusion and left so that even today people are fighting over what they're not supposed to be fighting over? 1648. Please read up this thing. It's called Westphalia Treaty. 1648. Europe decided to create sovereign nations. Some of them are not bigger than Ibadan. Small place. Well, some of them are big, sir. Most of them not even rich sides of Nigeria. They decided in 1648 to have sovereign states. That's where the concept of sovereignty and sovereign nation started. This is 2025. Are you telling me that we don't have a crop? I mean, and all of us went to school. We don't have enough educated people to sit down and say, listen, if Europe could create this structure after all their wars and say this is a nation, this is a nation, even if you are small, you're on your own, these are the Catholics, this is where the Protestants will be. If they could do that in 1648, are you really saying that in 2025 we cannot gather and have this kind of conversation? We're only talking about let us unite. And this unity, like I said, the idea of the unity came from outside Africa, from somebody who never came to Africa. Marcus Garvey never got to Africa. So if W.E.B. Du Bois, for instance, began to believe in this greatness of Africa, we should have a one African nation, African Kiniko, African that, and then you have Azikiwe go there and Nkrumah go there, and everybody went there and they heard about this one African policy, that they came back to you. You are home. You know that Yoruba is not the same thing as Fulani. You know. Read the book by Awolowo, Path to Nigerian Freedom, 1947. It talks about the fact that the difference between Yoruba and Igbo is like France, is like England and Germany, for instance, or like Belgium and France. They are different people. But no, you are not understanding the fact that the people who brought you together by force, they separated themselves at home. You are looking for unity that was given to you by, I'm sorry, somebody who was taken away from Africa, who never got to Africa, but who had a dream of Africa that he never saw. You are now carrying it on your head. Let us unite, let us unite. Don't unite me, just unite yourself. And you know the sad part? The people who talk about unity a lot in Nigeria specifically, the ethnic groups are not united. They don't even have a united identity as an ethnic group. What are we talking about? Your ethnicity is not united. We're going to read it in this book. What the Yorubas did before Christ, what they did again from the 11th century, what Awolowo and his people did in 1945, creating that cohesion. You've not created it. You are asking me for unity. What kind of unity is this? Why do we even need it? These are the same people saying that Africa should have one language. They call it Swahili. What do you think will happen to Yoruba language? I should leave. You know, I like Ijesha people. They say Ijesha dialect is a dialect that God will use to judge the earth. I respect them for that audacity. But I should throw Yoruba away to go and learn a language that was heavily influenced by Arabic. I should drop Yoruba language to take Swahili because we want unity. You guys are not thinking. EU, the entire continent of Europe is smaller than Africa. Africa as it is will conveniently take China, America, and Russia and still have some space. Africa is bigger than Europe. That's the reason I'm saying this. So Europe decides to have EU. In that EU, Europe says we are going to have 24 official languages. Africa, that is bigger than Europe, is saying they want one language. Are we smart or something? I don't want to talk the other one. You are bigger than Europe. Europe is having 24 languages as official languages of EU. You are bigger, but you want to have one language because you want to feel united. People of God, that's being dumb. That's not unity, that's stupidity. That's not unity. If you want to talk unity, talk about, okay, how do we travel? Things that make sense. How do we travel? You know, how do we make sure that if I want to travel from Nigeria to Kenya, I don't have to, you know, spend so much money? How do we do trade? Talk about bilateral agreements. How do we have, for instance, the music guys now that, you know, what's the guy from Tanzania will work with guys in Nigeria and then, you know, he will blow diamond, platinum, that's his name, platinum or something. Or the other guy that got married to Yabojo's daughter, Priscilla, the other. I mean, even if he's married, it's still international, but within the continent. Let's talk about trade. Stop talking to me about identity. I'm not going to jettison mine to create something new with you who has nothing before now. Why would I throw away my history for you? So please, my brother that is writing Pan-Africanism, I stopped to answer your question.